The New York Islanders have started rookie camp. So Islanders hockey is back. They've signed somebody to a PTO, and the rookies have hit the ice. We're going to cover all of that and more on today's Locked On Islanders podcast.
Your Locked On Islanders, your daily podcast on the New York Islanders. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome, everybody, to the Friday edition of the Locked On Islanders podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I want to thank everyone who makes Locked On Islanders your first listen every day. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. Today's episode is brought to you by Indeed. Start hiring now with a $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/locked on. We have got a busy show today. Lots to talk about, but first, if there's something Islanders related on your mind, if you have a question, a comment, maybe a topic you'd like us to discuss on today's show, you could send us an email to lockedonislanders@gmail.com. And if you leave your first name and where you're from, we are happy to mention you on the show when we discuss whatever it is that's on your mind. You could also follow the show on X at Locked On Isles, and you could follow me, Gil Martin, on X at Ice Wars, NYRVSNYI. We'll keep you up to date on all things Islanders all season long. And it's always great to talk a little Islanders hockey with you, game time or anytime. Folks, the New York Islanders have hit the ice for the first time during the 2024-2025 campaign. Rookie camp getting underway. It started Thursday, and, well, there are basically 23 players taking part in rookie camp. They include 12 forwards, William Dufour, Mark Gatcomb, Justin Gill, Alex Jeffries, Dalen Kufler, Eetu Liukas, Matthew Maggio, Jesse Nurmi, Riley Piercy, Jack Randall, Cam Thiesing, and Maxim Tsyplakov. That's alphabetical order. No, don't read anything more into the order than that. There are 8 defensemen: Aiden Fulp, Isaiah George, Christian Krieger, Artyom Kudashov, Travis Mitchell, Kallio Delius, Matthias Rajaniemi, and Marshall Warren. And then 3 goalies: Tristan Lennox, Henrik Tikkanen, and Keith Kinkaid. And it is great to have the New York Islanders back on the ice again to get the season started. And it just feels good to see that. It's been almost 4 months since the Islanders were last on the ice. Now, at the day one of rookie camp, Bridgeport Islanders head coach Rick Kowalski was running things, and it was just nice to see these guys back on the ice. Maxim Tsyplakov, by the way, taking part in the rookie camp, wearing number 7. So if you were wondering what his record, what his number rather was going to be by the New York Island with the New York Islanders, lucky number 7 is it for Tsyplakov. And here is an opportunity, maybe more than anything, for guys like William Dufour and Alex Jeffries and Matthew Maggio and Tsyplakov. Among the forwards, Isaiah George, Kallio Delius, especially among the defensemen, to make that big first impression. And look, out of the players, the 23 players that are now at rookie camp, not all of them are going to be even in training camp. And some of these guys, this is it. This is their opportunity to show that they belong. Some of these guys will not even get minor league contracts. Most of them will. But again, having these players on the ice and ready to go and seeing the Islanders preparing for the upcoming season, it really is great. It warms my heart. It was a long off season. You know, hockey has the shortest off season of any of the 4 major North American professional team sports. Basketball is close, but the NFL, Major League Baseball, they have longer off seasons than the NHL. Realistically, the Stanley Cup is awarded. You then go right into the draft and free agency, and you really only have about 6 weeks in between the big first wave of free agency and then the start of rookie camps. So great to see the Islanders back on the ice and practicing. And to me, this is just the first step in the journey that will be the New York Islanders 2024-2025 season. Really excited about seeing what this team can accomplish this year. It's going to be important that this team get off to a good start. And, there are advantages and disadvantages to having a veteran team. And there aren't a lot of roster spots open right now. I think if you look at the projected roster, barring a roster move, maybe there's 1 or 2 spots that are open. I mean, Matthew Barzal, Bo Horvat, Brock Nelson, Kyle Palmieri, J.G. Pajot, Anthony Duclair, Casey Cizikas. Those guys are locks to make the roster. Anders Lee, barring a trade, a lock to make the roster. And then you got, the guys sort of battling for those final spots. Kyle McLean, Hudson Fasching, Simon Holmstrom, Oliver Wahlstrom. Does he get there? On defense, I think, we know who the 7 defensemen are likely to be when the season gets started. And that's Ryan Pollock, Adam Pelech, Noah Dobson, Scott Mayfield, Alexander Romanov, Mike Riley, and Samuel Bolduc. I would be surprised. I would be shocked if, barring a trade, and again, you never know, but, okay, maybe the Islanders still trade Oliver Wahlstrom before the season starts. Wouldn't surprise me at all. But all that does is open up, enough room to add that 23rd player, hopefully. I still think there are things that need to be done before this season gets underway, but at least right now, the Islanders are taking a step forward and starting this journey that hopefully will lead to a successful season in 2024-2025 and a return to the playoffs, we hope, for the New York Islanders. All right, we have got a lot to get to on today's show. I mentioned at the top the Islanders have signed a player to a PTO. Well, I didn't mention it's a goalie. So we're going to talk about the player, but we're also going to talk about what it means to add this veteran goalie for Ilya Sorokin and all the speculation that has surrounded him. We're going to have that and a lot more coming up on today's Locked On Islanders podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by your friends at eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay guaranteed fit. Only available to U.S. customers. Locked On, want to thank you for making Locked On Islanders your first listen of the day. For your second listen, enjoy the Locked On NHL podcast. Locked On NHL provides you with a national perspective on all things NHL each and every day, with national experts and local insight on every team in the league. It's available on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. So I mentioned the Islanders signed a player to a PTO, and it's a familiar name to metropolitan area hockey fans. Yes, the Islanders signed goaltender Keith Kinkaid, the native of Farmingville, New York, 6'2", 195 pounds, attended Union College, came in with the New Jersey Devils. Yeah, he's 35 years old. Spent last season with the Chicago Wolves of the AHL and didn't excel. Let's put it that way. He had a .354 goals against average in 24 games with the Wolves and an .880 save percentage. Played one game in the NHL with the Colorado Avalanche in 2022-2023 and one game with the Boston Bruins that year. One game in the NHL in 2021-2022 with the Rangers. He's played for the Devils. He's played for the Rangers briefly. Now he has the PTO with the New York Islanders. And we welcome him to the equation. But what does it say about the Islanders' current situation when you're adding a veteran goalie? And look, everydayers know we talked on Monday's show about the speculation concerning goaltender Ilya Sorokin. And we still don't know what the situation with Sorokin is, whether there's anything behind what Elliotte Friedman had to say. The fact that the Islanders, who have zero cap space right now, they're over the cap, go out and sign a player to a PTO, but a goalie to a PTO, that tells me that, well, something may be up with Ilya Sorokin. So far, it's all quiet on the Sorokin front. The Islanders basically haven't said anything. We just know, according to Elliotte Friedman, Ilya Sorokin is, quote unquote, battling something. We don't know what it is. Now, there was an informal skate on Thursday for veterans, a group session. It was going on at the same time as rookie camp. Guess what? Sorokin did not skate. And all the team confirmed is that he did not skate and that his absence was not off-ice related. Other than that, we don't know. We'll hope to hear something Friday morning, and as soon as something gets out, we will obviously update you. Check out our Twitter feed or our X feed, and we will go on from there. But right now, it is just up in the air as far as, where we go from here. But to me, hearing that the Islanders signed Keith Kinkaid only further makes me think that something is going on that we don't know about yet with Ilya Sorokin. Now, Kinkaid, he was in a good mood. He said, I'm just putting my best foot forward. Just be a pro, be a rookie. He's, like I said, when I read the roster, Kinkaid is at rookie camp. He added, you got to prove yourself. That's what I'm coming here to do, prove myself. Lou knows me from the beginning of my career, so I'm hoping I can still show them what I've got. I just want to bring some experience and kind of show the way. This is my 14th season, and I just want to do anything I can to turn heads and show I still have a lot left in the tank. For his career, Keith Kinkaid, 169 games in the NHL, a 2.91 career goals against average, a .905 save percentage. His record, 70, 58, and 21. So that's 70 wins and 79 losses or overtime losses. Again, he would be a serviceable option. And if in the event that something is going on with Ilya Sorokin, you either would have Marcus Hogberg or Keith Kinkaid be the backup to Semyon Varlamov to start the season, and then the other of the two goalies would be down in the AHL along with the younger goalies and prospects to mentor them a little bit. That's assuming the Islanders sign Keith Kinkaid. We don't know that he will earn a contract from the team, and if he does, whether it'll be an AHL contract, an NHL two-way contract, I doubt he gets a one-way contract. We'll see. But right now, it only increases the speculation that there could be more to the Ilya Sorokin story than what we've been told so far, which I hate to kind of say it, we've been told absolutely nothing. So, you know, the Islanders are always keeping things close to the vest, kind of tight-lipped. I don't understand why it's always this way, but that's how Lou Lamoriello likes to do things, and it's not going to change as long as Lou is in charge of this organization. So, look, I have no problem with the Islanders signing Keith Kinkaid. I think it's a good addition. I think he can help this team. But not, he's not going to be your starter. I think he's either your AHL veteran or, your fill-in guy. We'll see how it all plays out. But the Islanders, it's just, in my mind, a little more smoke compared to what could be going on for the New York Islanders going forward as far as their goaltending situation is concerned. And let's be honest here. The New York Islanders, as a team, they were 22nd in the league in goals scored last year and 19th on the power play in the NHL. Even with the additions of Anthony Duclair and Maxim Tsyplakov, the Islanders are not going from 22nd to 3rd, okay? Maybe they can improve to 12th, 14th, 16th, something like that, which would be a step forward. But what does that tell us? It tells us how important goaltending is going to be to this team. And so you've got, if you don't have Ilya Sorokin to start the season, you need to rely on Varlamov and either Marcus Hogberg or Keith Kinkaid. I don't think Jakub Skarek is going to be playing NHL minutes this year unless a lot of injuries take place. Because let's face it, you don't sign a Hogberg and a Kinkaid. You certainly don't sign both if you are confident that Jakub Skarek is NHL ready to step in if something happens to either Sorokin or Varlamov. And every day, as you know, we saw it last year with Ken Appleby being, the Islanders just didn't trust him. This year, they're loading up on veteran backups between Hogberg and Kinkaid. We're going to see what, if anything, it all means, but a little more smoke to the whole Ilya Sorokin situation. All right. Maxim Tsyplakov, as I mentioned, was on the ice for the New York Islanders at rookie camp. He had some things to say. We're going to discuss that and his first impression. Plus, I didn't mention our Islanders' birthday of the day. An enforcer, a forward who was with the Islanders in the early to mid 1990s. Let's see if you can guess who this Saskatchewan native is. We got all that and more still to come on today's Locked On Islanders podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Indeed. Join more than Today's episode is brought to you by your friends at Indeed. We're driven by the search for better, but when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with quality candidates faster. And join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. Listeners of Locked On Islanders will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/lockedon. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/lockedon. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. So, first of all, I want to thank everyone for making Locked On Islanders your first listen today. Now go check out the Locked On NHL podcast, where the season never ends, providing national expertise with a local perspective. You can find the link to Locked On NHL in the show description, so you don't need to search. It's part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Great to see Maxim Tsyplakov at camp. He is, in my mind, the biggest wild card here. He's 25 years old. He was considered by many to be the best available free agent from Europe or the KHL. 31 goals, only 16 assists in 65 games in the KHL last year. And he talked a little bit about what it was like to be with the Islanders and why he chose them. He said, I don't look at money. I look at my opportunity, where I can play, power play, penalty kill. And I talk with Lou and Patrick. It's a good opportunity for me, big chance. I want to play hockey in big league, and I want to work with Patrick. Now, this basically says that Patrick Roy's presence was, we know already that Anthony Duclair signed with the Islanders in part because of his relationship and respect for Patrick Roy. Now it looks like Maxim Tsyplakov also did. He went on to say, I talked with Sorokin and Romanov before signing. I met Romanov in Moscow right after I signed my contract. It was a good talk with me and my wife. All guys, all New York Islanders helped me. Sorokin, Varlamov, and Romanov helped me. And by the way, one other player that Tsyplakov mentioned, a former Islander, here's what he had to say. Shane Prince, remember him? We talk after season in KHL, and I meet with him. Said it's a great city, great system, and a great opportunity. Now, remember, Prince was with the Islanders for parts of 3 seasons from 2015 to 2018, and he also helped Tsyplakov learn English, which is, again, something that he's doing pretty well under the circumstances for somebody who first arrived in the United States. When asked to describe his game, he told the Hockey News, I'm physical, I can take the puck, play on the PK, and I play the power play at net front. I can go to the net because that's my game. And as far as being out on the ice with the rookies in rookie camp, it's a good practice for me because we practice with many of the guys on the ice and in the gym. Those aren't hard practices. Right now it's hard practice, and it's better for me. We'll see. Right now, I think Tsyplakov is going to get every opportunity to be on the second line. He may start the season on the third line, but to me, he is the big wild card for the New York Islanders this year. If Maxim Tsyplakov becomes a legitimate top 6 player by the end of the season, if he can give you 20 or more goals and be on that second line, maybe with Kyle Palmieri and Brock Nelson, then the Islanders may actually have 6 legitimate top 6 forwards, which they haven't had on this roster in a while. We'll see how it all plays out. But to me, if Tsyplakov works out well this year, the Islanders could take their game to another level. If he doesn't, then, again, this team may be starved for offense this year, or at least not have the offense you want to be an elite contender. We'll see. Going to be interesting, but good luck to Maxim Tsyplakov. Time now for our Islanders birthday of the day. This guy is a fan favorite, or at least he was while he was with the team. Saturday is the 58th birthday of former Islanders forward Mick Vukota. Vukota, undrafted, 6'2", 195 pounds, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan native, made his NHL debut with the Islanders in 1987-88, stayed with the Isles through the 96-97 season, then played briefly for Tampa Bay and Montreal before hanging up his skates after the 1999-2000 season. Got into 573 career NHL games, 17 goals, 46 points, and 2,071 penalty minutes, including a career high 293 penalty minutes in 74 games for the Islanders in 1991-92. Make no doubt about it, Mick Vukota was there for his physical prowess, and yet he had one incredible offensive game, and that is easily his best game as an Islander. October 20th, 1989, at the old Cap Center in Landover, Maryland. Islanders and the Capitals. Glenn Healy, the Islanders goalie, Don Beaupre, the netminder for the Caps. And in this game, in the first period, a natural hat trick for Mick Vukota. Now, again, Mick Vukota scored 17 goals in his entire NHL career, and 3 of them came within 5 minutes of each other on this day. He got his first goal from Don Maloney and Gil Thibodeau at 10:08 of the first period, added another goal at the 14:40 mark of the period, Thibodeau the only assist, and then at 15:08, exactly 5 minutes after the first goal, his third of the game, Don Maloney, Gil Thibodeau with the assists in this game. Mick Vukota scores 3 goals on 5 shots, add 5 penalty minutes in this game, and the only thing that keeps him from the Gordie Howe hat trick, obviously, is the assist, which he did not get. He dropped the gloves with Alan May, actually had 7 penalty minutes, also picked up a high-sticking minor, while May got an instigator and 5 for fighting. That came in the second period. So the hat trick and the 5-minute fighting major, but no assist for Mick Vukota in this game. But Mick Vukota, a very popular forward for the Islanders, he is our Islanders birthday of the day. I want to thank everyone who makes Locked On Islanders your first listen every day. We're back on Monday. We'll have all the latest news from rookie camp, any updates on Ilya Sorokin or anything else New York Islanders related. We'll have it for you. If there is some big Sorokin news, we will at least put up a 1-minute video and maybe more. So make sure you check us out on YouTube and on X to see all the latest updates. Also, important, next week, we go back to our 5 shows a week, Monday through Friday schedule. So make sure you join us for that. Don't forget, every day, Monday through Friday, Locked On Islanders will be with you now until, well, at least next July. So we're back in in-season mode starting on Monday. I am very excited about that. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe. And, of course, let's go Islanders.